I'm very excited about this one. In today's episode, we're beginning the turbo build on my 1995 Nissan GQ Patrol.
You hear them tapping?
Yeah.
Not ideal, bro. See how the spec I can tell from my fingers. And now be gone.
Throw them in the bin.
It's gonna make a big mess. It's pretty rare you see one with one of them on it. Hold on to your flaming all with it.
Proudly supported by Tread, Superior Engineering, and in part by. All the work is getting done at S&P Complete Automotive in Port Macquarie. We've got an absolutely massive stack of stuff to go in the car that I've been building up over the last couple of months. So I got a big turbo kit from High Performance Diesel, which has got your exhaust, your turbo, your manifold, a heap of stuff in there, intercooler. And then separately I've sourced things like a new clutch to handle the power, an upgraded fuel pump, new injectors. Yeah, massive list of things. So I'm about to head down there now, get started. I'm super excited. First time I've ever really done performance mods or a turbo to a car, so it's going to be me learning, asking questions as we go through the process and yeah, get it all in and done. One question I will answer though before we get down there and get stuck into it is why am I turboing my GQ? Well, GQ Patrols, they come with a NA engine, naturally aspirated, and they are very slow. So a turbo is a very common upgrade that people do to these GQs, especially once you're putting modifications on them for four-wheel driving, you know, your bar work, your weight, your camp setup, and big tires. The car is just painfully slow now. When you're on the highway and you hit a hill, now I did this the other day, I drove the car 4 hours on the highway, and you get to a hill, you hit the hill 110, fifth gear, fourth gear, third gear, second gear. By the time you get to the top of like a hill on the highway, you're literally at like 30, 40 kilometers an hour. The trucks are overtaking you. It's just ridiculous. Slow rock crawling and stuff out the bush is all pretty good, and NA doesn't really make too much difference with that. But then when you get to things like mud, steep hill climbs, sand, where you're trying to get a bit of power, it's not there. You're a goner. But anyways, I'll jump in the car, we'll get down there. Time to turbo my GQ.
Never been off in the life of a car, mate.
Never.
Never.
What's the first step in this humongous job?
Well, you're putting in a snorkel that goes here. So I'm going to remove this tray, that fuel thing, move them vacuum line. But today's a big day for the bar. You need it?
We should do a run through, like a quick run through of the gear we got too.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'll do that now.
If you want to, I can do it.
So this is my huge collection for the turbo. So we got stuff from HPD, High Performance Diesel. They provided like the turbo. They pretty much do a ready to go kit, don't they?
Yeah, pretty well.
Like they sort of make the job easier for you. They provide all your little bits and pieces, but then we still had to get a heap of extra stuff on top too.
So we got a clutch, Full Terrain Ultimate, good for 795 Newton meters. We have injectors that have been rebuilt by our local diesel dude. So there's turbo nozzles on the end, and they up the crack pressure by about 20 bar, I'm pretty sure it is. Just makes them atomize the fuel better, burn better for turbo applications. So
yeah.
we got
big 12 mil, the highly debated fuel pump topic. We've gone the 12 mil crank snapper.
So 12 mil, 11 mil doesn't really make that much of a difference if you're only going to run 180, 200 horsepower. I've driven both, they both act the same. Your turbo kit.
Yeah, so what's in this turbo kit?
So we've got exhaust manifold, turbo, dump pipe,
so
gasket.
Garrett turbo.
2860 Gen 2. Literally pretty much just a bolt-on kit. Boost tee. You want to control the boost. And then I'm pretty sure in this box is intercooler. And then down the bottom we have exhaust. And
then this is some extra stuff you got for the kit.
Yeah, that's just intake gasket. We've got a steel rail, because they're pretty common to break if people over tighten them. Rocker cover gasket, so I've got to do tappets. In this box was a clutch fork, because yours has got 700,000 Ks on it. We got flywheel bolts. From RMS we got a nice gasket, exhaust gaskets, studs and nuts that are all fancy, high quality. We just wanted it to be reliable for you.
Yeah.
And they're nice, they're easy to work with. We have a lift pump, then we got a pivot ball for your clutch fork, because they wear real bad. And then we got rear main gasket, and then a rear main, which is the whole housing, which it's all genuine.
And then got some gauges too, so I got red arc gauges, EGT and boost pressure gauge, oil pressure and water temp gauge. And now we're back into pulling stuff apart.
Factory airbox, mate. Look at the technology in that.
Some high GQ technology.
So we've got a bit of room up here, huh? Christ. Yeah, that was. Slid off the bloody milk crate, mate.
So pretty much got all this side pulled apart.
Yeah.
Lots of room there for turbo now. So that's the factory airbox coming out, which we're obviously replacing.
I'm on my knees like a cheap hooker.
Good old Alfie, mate.
Hold on, you flaming hooligans. Oh, listen to that, bro.
Is that the tappets?
Yeah.
You hear them tapping?
Yeah.
Not ideal, bro.
I don't rate it, eh?
See how to spec, I can tell from my fingers.
So you've pulled the rocker cover off
Yeah, mate.
and looking at what you call tappets.
Valve clearances. Tappets.
Oh, is that what these valve clearances?
This does your valve clearances, but these are your tappets. You know, you have to turn the motor over to where these are at, off the cam, so when they're not doing anything, when they're slack.
Yeah.
And spec is like 0.35 or 0.30 to 0.35, I'm pretty sure. I'd have to triple check, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I'll put it in there, it's too loose. Then I'll go through all of them, put them down to spec.
So what happens? They just come loose over time.
Yeah, they get loose or they get tight, depends. Short people things, you gotta kneel on up here. Nice bench they give you on a TD, mate.
Yeah, perfect spot to keep the tools. On top of the battery works good too.
Yeah, look, I've got a couple over there, you know.
Yeah.
They have this thing called a battery clamp, and it separates positive and the negative, so you're not likely to short anything out of there, eh?
Yeah, perfect.
Loosen here. Loosen this real far. That's now, see how that goes all the way to like 25 now?
Yeah.
So that's closer, but that's how you adjust it and check it with that thing. I think this is gonna be the worst one yet.
Was that saying 50 something?
Nearly 60.
Yeah, well. Well, they're getting worse the further they go back.
So the back cylinder is normally your worst one. It gets the least airflow, it gets the hottest air.
Yeah.
So it's got like that's normally when they play up, it's always the back one.
This car's going to be running like a dream after I leave here.
Hey, you're not even going to need the turbo kit, mate. That's right, bro. That's right, bro.
Valve clearance is done then.
Yeah.
What's next on the big turbo job?
Gotta loosen up all these exhaust bolts, you know, and get shit in there, but most of them are going to be spanner jobs, I reckon. The manifold that we get, the turbo bolt straight onto it. All the exhaust goes through your turbo.
So that's how it powers them, and then they draw the air in.
So there's a turbine wheel which gets spun by the exhaust, and that has a shaft that's directly connected to the front of the turbo, which has an impeller, and that sucks it in and then compresses it. So I'm going to leave that one there because it's easy to get to. I'm under all the bottom ones, and then I'm probably going to go down there. Cut it.
Yeah. Quick release method.
Yeah, well, you're not going to use it.
Quick disconnect.
No one's going to buy like a stock TD exhaust, so...
Mate, they might have high value product.
Mate, we'll send it out with the next merge.
Yeah. Quick release.
NA be gone.
Throw them in the bin.
So I'm removing these old studs because we've got nice ones. They're stronger and like what? So that was just an exhaust manifold. It don't weigh very much.
Yeah.
You put a turbo manifold on there, and the turbo weighs a bit more.
Oh yeah, right. So there's going to be more stress on those bolts.
Yeah. So you don't want to be going down $1,000 track and lose turbo off the side of your car, man.
No, you're not falling down, coming out there
So-
next to the gearbox.
You know, we're going to Tyler proof it.
Yeah.
2 nuts on, lock them together, tighten one and into the other one.
That's gonna. You'll be here for 3 hours getting all these bolts out.
Yeah, it's time consuming, mate, but
Someone's got to do it.
yeah, mate. I'm upgrading the tools here. Some people will yell at me for using this too, but normal cars, these are aluminum, they're real soft. You use one of these, you can make it not flat, but this one's cast iron. I'm gonna just be gentle, like this. Let the blade do it, not much pressure.
Yeah. So this is the new stuff.
Allen key in the end,
Oh yeah.
threading the whole way. So
Much
see-
easier to go back
See,
on.
these ones are like a stud. These are a stud, but they're threaded the whole way.
So why these are single gaskets?
See how these are? These are.
Because obviously, like the old gasket is just one big long thing,
Yeah.
and they're little individuals.
Made out of just like heaps of little layers of metal. These are much better. Like you can reuse these. If like one of these somehow comes loose,
Yeah.
and it blows the gasket out,
Yeah.
and just replace the one. I'll put the studs in. One stud on TD number 5, that bottom one.
Yeah.
It can leak oil, so put some sealant on it. Yeah. Look at that, eh? That's a new manifold.
And then so the turbo bolts on there.
Because you've got a baby turbo, that's too big, so they give you this adapter. This is T3 hole, and yours is T25, so you see how small it is? Your
So I just got a little turbo.
it's better than a stock one, but it's pretty small.
Yeah. But that's alright because we didn't want big power.
Yeah.
And Garrett's like a turbo brand that's been around for
Oh,
a long time.
It's a very good brand.
We had this back and forth discussion for 16 years about what size turbo to get. Because I could get a bigger one for, it was pretty much going to be the same cost.
Yeah.
Like an 18G version, but we went the smaller one because I'm not chasing high power.
Yeah, it depends what you need. There's a lot of variables that play into why you should get what turbo, different applications. This will be fine for what you need. Just want to make sure it's what they use for it. 6 hours to install this, mate, that's all day. They want me to screw one into the coolant drain. They want me to screw one into the coolant drain. For that one, that flange, this one doesn't have a gasket because they've got this like little recess thing.
Yeah.
So that'll just bolt on, and then this gasket will go for the turbo. They want me to do all these funny water cooling things. You have ceramic ball bearings in yours, and they need to be cooled. Now they want me to go and drain all the coolant out and all that, and run some water lines and stuff, so I might do that. It's going to make a big mess. This is where they want us to put an water line. You know how I told you about that secret fancy little drain?
Yeah.
That's the one. They want to put a coolant line in it. I'm going to catch as much of it as I can. Probably not going to be much.
So you got water feed in and out,
Yeah.
and oil feed in and out.
Yeah. When you've been driving on the highway doing 100, you
Yeah.
don't have to let it idle for like a minute. You can just turn it straight off. And the water will keep it cool.
Because they'd obviously get hot because they got hot exhaust gases smashing them.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the oil that goes through gets hot too.
So does this mean it's an extra thing burdening your cooling system?
Yep. I've de-kettled it so you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just a light smear, mate.
Bit of gasket goo to go with the gasket.
Better to be safe than sorry is what I've always heard, mate.
And then all your little individual gaskets on.
Yeah.
And the instructions said to do the turbo in after, so you're just going with that.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with how they do it in case there's a reason I don't really feel like pulling this back on.
New manifold is on and tight. So that coolant spot is normally just
A drain for flushing your coolant.
yeah, but now they put an adapter in there so you can draw the coolant out of there.
Yeah. So I have to pull this hose off, unscrew that, and then there's one over there. So one goes from in there, one comes from up here.
Is the bung down there, is that water out or water in?
That's probably going to be water in. It'll come in and then go and cool down.
Yeah, so you just got to adapt into the coolant line in 2 spots for in and out.
Yeah. Water return is in, water feed is in, oil feed is in, little tiny grommet down there between the engine mount.
Yeah, you can see him behind
Tiny,
there.
tiny
Yep.
little Allen key grub screw that's in there.
We just got to do oil out, which is, does that spike
In
the sump? Not
Well,
spike the
We're just
sump.
going to drill a hole. And
Drill a
weld
hole.
something on. I've still got to put the drain one on,
Yeah,
but this is like one of the waters, the oil feed, they're all screwed on.
yeah.
So there's a banjo bolt, a washer on both sides of the fitting.
So we bolt it onto the manifold and then connect up all your feeds in and out.
Yeah.
Except your oil out, we'll have to connect
Yeah, we'll
later.
connect that after. We have to pull the sump off.
Yeah,
And to figure out where to put it, you put the turbo on and then you go down and mark it. There's a gasket, this, and then a thing screws into it. So that's on that, this is on this.
so before the turbo goes in, run us through the basic idea of it.
Exhaust gas goes in here,
Yep,
spins this turbine,
yep,
which then is connected to this impeller. Spins that,
yep,
sucks air through here, compresses it, makes pressure, blows pressure out here.
yep.
When it makes a certain amount of pressure, whatever we set the boost to, this is the wastegate, this is probably 10 pound,
Yeah,
opens up this little flap, lets the rest of the exhaust gases out so it doesn't make more boost. So fuel burns, right, but if you have heaps of fuel and no air, it doesn't burn. You have to have the right ratio of fuel to air. I think 18 to 1's about what you want,
Yeah.
spot, but on this we'll probably have 21 to 1, so it's nice and safe and reliable.
yeah.
You'll make more power at 18 to 1, but you'll make more heat. You make more heat, then stuff gets hot and breaks.
Yeah, right. So that's ramming air through your motor, and the intercooler is helping keep that air cool because you don't want to just send like,
You just send hot air in
You don't
there,
wanna send hot-
It's useless.
yeah. So you need cooled air being sent in.
Yeah.
So once it comes out of there, does it go through the intercooler?
It comes out of this, goes into the intercooler, cools
then-
down, and then goes into your motor.
Yeah, okay.
So-
Yeah.
But yeah, the cooler the air is, the more dense it is, so it's got more actual air particles.
We've pretty much got the set idea of how turbo works for
Yeah.
noobs like me.
Yeah, mate.
And then
You got more information than you can take in just then.
yeah. So yeah, then once you got this power, that's when you got to do other things like the clutch to handle that more power that's being sent through things.
Yeah, so if you don't do a clutch, like the clutches on these, they only make 200 something Newton meters standard. The clutches only needed to be rated for that.
Yeah.
So when you add all this stuff, you're going to make more. It's not possible for it to do it. I don't know how beautiful this is going to be putting it in because they make you put everything on, so we'll see how it goes.
So you're just doing up the bolts, bolt it in, and then start connecting up your feeds.
Yeah, look, I'll do up these bolts. I'll hook them feeds up.
Turbo's in.
Yeah.
And we're ready to go, drive her off.
Well, I'll
In
still
and-
gotta do that part.
In and out, same day service.
The last line other than the drain.
Yep, all your lines hooked up.
Yeah.
Oh, apart from oil drain.
Yeah. So you wanna have a look see? You remember where they all at?
Yeah, so that's water out,
Yeah, that'll be water out.
and water in's down the backside down there.
It's hooked up.
Yeah, and that's oil in.
Feeds hooked in.
Yeah, we just got to do oil feed out. Yeah, and so turbo's hooked up to the manifold there, and then you got a dump pipe out the bottom of it or something where it's going to
Dump
go.
pipe comes out the back here.
Yeah, oh yeah, out there to the exhaust, and then this is going to be air that's going to get into your engine. I would assume we have piping up to an
The
intercooler.
kit should come with the whole-
Yeah, intercooler up there, then what down into the other side of the engine? Look, I'm onto it.
You're
I'm
onto
a
it,
qualified turbo mechanic now.
Mate, next time you're gonna have to do the 48 yourself.
Yeah, I will. Boom, turbo
Happens
in.
like that.
It is a low mount.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Low mount.
Best type of mount there is, I heard.
Low mount.
Yeah,
You reckon?
yeah,
What's that?
A lot of people like a low mount.
yeah.
A lot of people like a high mount.
It's highly debated, is it?
Yeah.
Hot topic.
But look, these just
It's-
don't look as cool. Like I'll show you my engine bay when we're done and your engine bay when we're done, and
Won't be the same.
Mine's just 10 times the car, you know what I
You
mean?
see, mate, mine's no show, all go. So yours is all show, no go.
No, mine's all go and show in there.
This
But
is
outside of
so
it,
you can't see anything, but that's the thing. Like it's camouflage. Everyone think, just not much going on in this GQ, and then you put your foot down, and bloody look out. So this is
AGT gauge goes in here. They haven't even drilled the hole, mate. I'm gonna have to drill it.
Give you something to do, I guess.
No, I don't have enough to do now already.
With the dump pipe, like, why do you have this and not just straight into an exhaust? Like, is that some sort of special thing?
Well, this is just the shape of the back of the turbo. So, like, if your back of the turbo just has a round, like, V-bed, you just have a round one coming out.
Yeah.
But that's just the shape of the turbo. So you have to adapt the back of the turbo, and then it's just straight normal exhaust after that.
Yep.
Yeah, dump pipes in, nuts are on. This is a different adapter because Red Arc one's a quarter and this one's like a 3/8.
There's the EGT line starting to run over to there, and then you'll put it through the firewall. And then next up is snorkel install. So it's a Patrol Doctor 4-inch snorkel through to a big airbox. Like it's like a big truck airbox. So we should get plenty of airflow from that, and that's going to go in here. We're just tidying up the space for it now. And then the Patrol Doctor is a bonnet entry snorkel. It's a chrome one. So I've gone chrome once again to match the chrome theme of the car. Chrome wheels, chrome grille. And yeah, being bonnet entry, we will have to cut a hole in the bonnet, come through down to it there. I went that because I much prefer the look of it over the big long snorkels you otherwise have on the Patrol that come right down here and in. And then for legalities of a bonnet entry snorkel, because I know people are going to say this, aren't they illegal? You can actually get them engineered. 75% of windscreen vision, and it has to be plated where you've cut, like strengthened again.
Yeah.
So you haven't like lost the integrity of the bonnet. He also said to me, because like they're older vehicles, they don't have all your airbags and safety features that you can't cover up on modern vehicles.
Yeah.
So when I get it engineered, that'll be just another thing I have to get ticked off, obviously, along with the suspension, tyres and all that too. And that'll give us plenty of airflow for the turbo as well, because obviously with a turbo, we want good airflow. Would you run a turbo on a factory airbox, or you wouldn't do it?
I wouldn't.
No, you'd want to upgrade it somehow.
Old school turbo kits do, but I wouldn't. Brand new bolt. I've sponsored you this bolt. I want to be called out, man.
Yeah, this turbo build sponsored by Nick Berto.
These aren't tap bolts. I bought these out of my pocket, eh?
Shout out.
I need a GoFundMe started. I need $1 per YouTube subscriber.
Yeah.
So then I'll have 65k. I'll be able to just build whatever.
Look at that, now you can drill the hole.
Beautiful. So what are you up to now? What's the next phase of turbo build?
The injectors, fuel pump. That's today's.
Next job. Radiator out and some of the surrounding shroud pieces. So how come you have to take the radiator out anyway? Because it's kind of down the front here, pumps back there, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's the pump gear in here where you have to set all, line up the timing marks, and then the gear's on the front of the pump and you have to pull it off, and the puller's like big, so you can do it without pulling the radiator out, but it's a lot easier. We already had no water in it, so.
Yeah, it's easier to get out. So what are you pulling off there now?
There's this front plate, and that's like right in front of the pump gear, so that's how you access it.
Yeah, okay.
Pump gear. I'll pull it on. It's got a few cars on it, bit of sludge in there and that. Now that that's off, I'll just leave that like that for now. I'll come and take the whole intake off over this side.
So the intake off, is that just to get to the injectors easier?
It's mostly the fuel lines, and to change either injectors or pump, the fuel lines have to come off for either job. So.
Not going to be any more disappointment in there.
Nah, disappointment's gone.
So these are all the injector lines, so yeah, they run spaghetti. It's literally quicker to pull that off than to try and undo them and pull them out.
So all the injectors, they individually come out of the fuel pump.
Yeah.
6 lines out of the fuel pump to each
Each injector.
cylinder injector.
Yeah.
And then into the cylinder.
We have a whole bunch of spaghetti, and I'll make it a whole bunch of not spaghetti. I might pull those heater lines off so they're out of the way, and then we'll put the new pump on.
What do you mean? Sound like?
So she'll put her foot down, and it won't go anywhere until it comes on boost. So she'll put her foot down more,
Yeah.
and then it's gonna go. Sap! With the new pump too, like this feed line here, that hard line.
Yeah.
When you get like a new pump, you have to pull all this off your old pump and like the throttle bracket, and you put it on the new one before you put it on.
Yeah.
See this metal cap?
Yeah.
Fuel screws under that. You know what that means?
No.
This fuel screw's never been played with. That's the anti-tamper cover, so people can't like. It's set and then it's on. No one's cowboy tuned it.
Yeah.
It's pretty rare you see one with one of them on it.
It's gonna get cowboy tuned soon, but
No.
professional Birdo tuned.
Yeah. So what gauge do we put on this oil pressure too, eh?
Yeah, all pressure gauge.
I should do that before I put the intake back on too. That's
that
your
go?
factory oil pressure sender.
Where?
That thing.
Oh yeah.
So get a
It'll
T-piece.
screw into there, will it?
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
have to go to the shop and get a T-piece.
So now you're starting undoing these injectors.
I'm gonna have to try and get something down here and hold it. Because I don't want to break the injector lines, because then you'll have mine. What happens is people do these things up too tight, this spill rail. That's normally the common one to break.
Yeah,
These
okay.
are normally fine. I need you to hold something, since I've only got 1.5 hands. This is what happens when cowboys over tighten shit. Breaks. It's just no need.
So what are you undoing the injector lines at the fuel pump end now?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 injector lines.
In order. Very clean. Very clean. That's how they're meant to come undone.
So what do you reckon? They didn't do them up tight enough or too
They
tight?
didn't do them up tight enough, or they did them up tight enough, but then they've done the top, these nuts, too tight.
Yeah, okay.
And then it all binds together, and when you undo that top nut, it comes out. So like this should all come off in one piece, not like each injector. And that one come undone. So we've got 2 coming undone out of 6.
And the other 4 is binded up.
Yeah, so that'd be too tight. Like if you can hold the injector and undo them, you'll probably save it, but if you just know you're doing this job, you prepare and buy yourself a spill rail. Got that one. 3 out of 6, mate.
How come we're replacing the injectors? Is that the main reason? Just because they got the turbo nozzle on them, or like
Well-
why else would you replace injectors when you're turboing a car?
If you have an injector that fails and it just dumps fuel in, you'll melt a hole in your piston, motor will be shaved.
Once again, it's just making sure things are in tip-top shape
Yeah,
when you're putting more power through it.
yeah, and like it's not crazy expensive.
So these are just second-hand injectors, reconditioned and rebuilt or whatever.
Yeah, fully rebuilt, so pretty well brand new.
New injectors going in. Next, they're just going to wind them in by hand, then you'll torque spec them after.
Yeah, should be good to go. $47
Okay.
for the injector.
Torque them up.
I'll talk them up.
So that's your brand new fuel rail to go in.
Spill rail.
Spill rail. So that's any leftovers that doesn't get burnt in the injectors, spills
Yeah.
down back into the fuel pump. Once you get the injector lines off the fuel pump, it's just unbolting it.
There's this bracket, and then you have to set the motor to top dead. It just helps when you align the new pump. Like you have to set the timing on the pump. Here's like a dynamic timing, and then there's static timing, which is just like where it's bolted. So you rotate this pump, and that changes the timing. With these big pumps, you ask the pump dude that makes it what he wants it set at, and that's what you set it at. Oh, come on, mate. This is like the most awkward angle.
Mate, you just about snap a TD crank doing this. So that's turning the crank, is it?
Yeah, it's turning the whole motor over.
Yeah, and what are you getting to? What are you looking for when do you stop?
Right there.
Yeah.
There's a Z on that. There's a Z on that. There's a Z on that. So at top dead, you got to line this one Z up in between those 2 Zs.
Yeah.
That's top there. So I'll pull the pump off there. So it'd be a lot easier to install a new one.
So it's not just a simple bolt out, bolt in. You gotta
There's that.
get a few things correct.
You undo that nut and then it still doesn't come off. You need a puller. You gotta make sure when you undo it, don't drop it down into that cap. Like in there, goes in your engine, into all them gears. You drop something in there, you pull the whole front of the motor off. You don't want to be doing that.
Yeah, okay, so you've put a couple of bolts into those threads,
Yep.
and then this is going to allow you to pull that big gear out.
You gotta have these pretty even so it pulls straight. And once this gear's off, I just undo them 3 nuts on the back and then the whole pump's out.
Got her out.
She's out, mate. There's the 2 Zs.
Oh yeah, so small.
So then the other one lines up in the middle.
Yeah, okay, so you got the 2 Zs there, and then the gear in the front timing cover has the
go
Z
in
on
that.
That's the old 10mm fuel pump out of the engine, and now we get the new 12mm ready to go in.
Yeah, so this is a fuel compensator. Boost comes in here. There's a diaphragm here, it pushes down. There's a pin, adds fuel with boost. No boost, no extra fuel. On boost, adds fuel. This is non-compensated because these don't come out turbo, so it doesn't obviously need one.
Yeah.
But they put these on.
So you need a compensated fuel pump for a turbo?
You don't need it, but if you want it to be efficient, and then yeah.
12mm fuel pump. This is where it came from.
Yeah,
Island diesel, 12mm.
Clive.
Yeah. So why'd you get this one?
He's a good bloke.
Good bloke.
Same one's in my car.
Yeah. Okay.
He
So
sets them up on his dyno to whatever you sort of want. Like you give him a power figure and he'll sort it out for you. This will make 300 horsepower if you want to,
yeah.
but we're not making it do that. This has a 10mm plunger. This has a 12mm plunger.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a lot of differences inside.
So 12mm can obviously pick up much more fuel.
Much more fuel.
We don't need it, but
don't
it's
need it.
recommended to get a bigger fuel pump when you
Yeah.
get a turbo, because obviously you're putting more air into the engine.
Yeah.
Is the idea behind the turbo, and if you're not putting more fuel in too,
Yeah.
you're not really going to be able to get much out of the turbo. You're
Yeah.
not really going to be able to achieve much power.
Yeah.
Pretty expensive part too. Like, what did this cost me? 2,700 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Something
so
like
not
that.
not cheap.
And to get one of these rebuilt is like similar. So like you get a 10mm rebuilt, it's
Yeah.
probably like $2,000.
11mm would have given all the fuel we needed for my application.
Yeah.
But for the same price, you can get a 12mm,
Yeah.
and
Just day trip.
it's probably going to last longer and not be stressing it as much.
Yeah.
That was the idea behind why we went it.
Yeah.
So now what do we do?
So like this one's got a little bracket for the support. I've got to switch the bracket over onto this metal fuel rail here, and this throttle cable bracket.
Yeah.
I'll switch this over onto this pump. That's why this has like new washers. It comes with pretty much everything you need other than these. So that's the other thing too. Most of the pumps you get that are exchanged, if people don't know you've got to switch them, they'll send their pump with all this on it.
Yeah.
They'll get a new pump and they'll have to supply, like source all this stuff.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
you change on it. So
Yeah.
change that. This wire that comes off goes to the fuel stop solenoid. I'll have to put that on. Just some minor stuff. And once that's all on there and done up and good, I'll put it in the car. And then we do like the timer.
So is this where it brings it from the fuel tank?
That's fuel tank in.
Yeah.
And then this is your spill rail. So from your injectors, they have like that little spill rail.
Yeah.
So any that doesn't go through will dribble back.
So anything that doesn't get burned gets sent back down the
Anything
tank.
that doesn't get squirted, be sent back. This is your fuel screw, the cowboy one. That one's got the thing on.
Yeah, that's where
On these, you don't touch.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
all in here.
The other thing I will say is with the 11 versus 12mm pump, it was probably one of the most stressful things of this turbo build. Literally everyone was just telling me, oh, you should get 11mm because of this reason, or you should get a 12mm because of this reason. Just like so many different opinions, and it was just painful, and I wouldn't have a clue. So that's why I said to the boys here, you know, I'm happy to just go with the 12mm, they're the ones you normally use, so we'll just go with that. I know there were people that comment, oh, it should have gone 11mm. Same with this, all this turbo setup in general. Like, there's so many different ways you can do this. I'm not here saying that this way I've done is the exact best or most efficient way or anything like that, but I had to make a choice, had to choose some parts and a setup to go with, so this is what I've gone with. But yeah, I know everyone's going to be like, oh, I should have done this turbo, should have done this fuel pump, should have done this intercooler, should have done that. But yeah, I just had to make a choice and not like stress myself out for months trying to find the exact perfect thing, because you'll never find the answer. I'm sure this will work and get me all the places I need to go. The main thing is I just want it to be reliable. And TD42s are known for snapping cranks. No one knows the exact answer of why they snapped cranks, otherwise people probably would have solved it. That's why there's a TD42 engine here currently with a snapped crank. So I'm hoping my crank doesn't snap, but we'll see. Alright, back again the next week. So what we're doing last time, we're doing the fuel pump, I think. The fuel pump we'll come back to. What have you done with it? It's in, but
It's
you're
in.
gonna...
I've timed it.
Yeah.
I just figured I'd show you how.
Yeah, so
We time it.
we'll show people how to time that in a minute.
Gone down here and looked where the turbo is and found the drain. I've got to rearrange this bike,
Oh, yeah.
but pretty much fine straight down and mark it with a little mark. So when I pull the sump off, we know where to drill a hole for the drain.
There's a few ways you can do that, can't you? Like some people just spike the sump.
Yeah, and glue it or they tap it, but we just weld it. And then there's no ifs, buts, or maybes. It's on
Yeah.
there, no leak. I'll come down and I'll show you the fuel pump.
Okay.
And then I'll pull the sump off. You see that gauge down there?
Yep, yeah, you got a gauge down the back.
Yep. So you put it on top dead, line these Zs up.
Yep.
To adjust it, we get that at top dead. You wind it back. So if you have a look on this gauge, I'll turn this back until that stops. So just there, it's starting to stop. It's on 0 on the gauge. And then you wind it back to top dead, line the line up, and then where this gauge says is where it's on.
What are you timing?
The pump timing, so when the injector will fire compared to top dead center. There's a bit to it. People that want to know will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay.
It's hard to explain.
Yeah, look,
But this is
I'm
the-
slightly confused, but...
This is the hard, important part, that if you don't do it right, it won't run, or it'll run like shit, or it'll make no power, or you'll have really high EGTs.
And what's the number you're going for?
When you get one done by UFI or Clive or anyone, you ask the pump builder what they want their pump set at. So on these ones, we've got it set at 0.75, so it's a little bit more than stock. Simple breakdown is I'm timing what time this sends the injector's fuel and then fuel goes into the motor.
Yeah.
So it has to be pretty specific. When people just try and bang them in on their backyard if they've got no idea what's going on, there's a bit going on. It's more than just bolting it on and
Yeah.
off you go.
Yeah.
Like on a common rail one, you just bolt it in. They're not timed, they just build pressure. Yeah, I'll put the injector lines on now, that's done. I'll put this front cover on, injector lines.
Yeah, so our Red Arc oil pressure gauge, we got
We're going to get teed in.
teed into that.
So if you didn't want this, which you should run this, because otherwise your oil light's going to be on the dash, you could just screw it straight in, but...
When the crank snaps, we'll have 3 things telling me the pressure's gone.
He screws in and then he screws into that. Mate, this is Tyler Thompson, mate. I don't mind him coming back, putting up bad video about me.
Brand new manifold, intake manifold back in.
Straight from Nissan, bro.
So you're putting those glow plugs back in now?
Yeah, they're on there.
They're in, ready to go. You just spudgy that one?
Yeah, this one's spudgy, there's no gasket. So I'm gonna cut all this old spudgy off, I'll get my whizzer out, I'll clean it right up,
Well,
Bit of spudgy, mate.
what a spudgy job that was.
Artwork, and then when even, mate, you just wait.
You've done this a couple of times before.
Yeah, mate. It's like TIG welding, but for spudgy. Just, nice, consistent beads, mate.
Dime bags.
Dimes for days.
And then that's just to bolt back in and she good.
Yeah, you know what these bolts are?
What?
That's them bolts.
Oh, bloody hell.
Oh, I'm just buttoning stuff up. This small, time-consuming stuff just gets in my way.
So while we've got all the engine apart and doing everything, we're going to just service it as well, is that right?
Yeah, because new turbo as well. We don't like. It's always good to put new oil, new filters
Yeah.
with new turbo kit.
Yeah. So I got some fresh stuff here from Ryco, the oil filters, the fuel filters, so we'll whack them in.
Look at that, mate. Pre-lubed, mate.
That's what you want.
Pre-lubed.
Couple of fresh Rycos in. How's it looking there?
It's clean. I didn't catch it. It's not very old. It's a brand new fuel pump, so
Oh yeah, for sure.
you wanna be fresh.
What do you do? Rub a bit of fuel on it.
Yeah, mate. Lubrication.
It's all in now, you're priming it.
Yeah.
How many pumps? 3 billion?
Just until it comes out.
Yeah, we're going to open up that box. That's got a big Ryco filter in it too there. We'll just open it up because we haven't opened it up since we got it. Make sure it's all good and ready to go in there.
A few screws and that when you want to check it, but it's a good box. Big long filter, yeah?
Yeah, right. So that's a Ryco one.
Righto. That's obviously got a seal the whole way around here.
Yeah.
And then in here is capped off. Like there's a little washer seal under that too. So once that's in, and then it seals around here, fully sealed.
No water in there. That's one of the disasters you see all the time. People get a snorkel,
It's not sealed.
but it's not sealed because their airbox ain't sealed. They go through deep water,
Yeah.
kaboom, game
Oh.
over.
Bent rods.
Yeah, literally.
But not this thing. Nice snorkel, mate. Nice snorkel.
That there ends episode 1 of the turbo build on my GQ Patrol. Make sure to tune in to next week's episode as we finish everything off and get this big rig on the road. So I'm about to head down there now and get started on the first. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. I guess the main thing I will quickly answer before we get started and get cracking into it is, why am I turboing my car? Like, what's the point? The first question. No, the only way I can afford these cars is to do them like through the business and get content out of them. And there's no good to keep buying patrols because like
People get over.
people get no.
Bro, bring back the name.
Okay,
What about a Jeep?
no, but let's give a
Gladiator?
let's give a sensible.
Gladiator.
Let's give a sensible answer. What's
Gladiator.
the most popular car
Nissan
in
Patrol.
Australia?
Nissan Patrol.
Probably in the world.
Nissan Patrol.
Land Cruiser. Everyone loves Land Cruisers.
Nissan Patrol.
Anyone who does
Jeep
Land
Rubicon.
but I know that people like it for whatever.
Anyone
stupid
that's got
reason.
no idea in their brain.
You're warming up your voice over there, Zach.
Oh yeah.
You've been researching all clutch facts.
He's like, I don't want him to be asking me heaps of questions. They're all scared about these people judging them, man. It's just, you just don't care, mate.
No, I get roasted every video.
Like, it doesn't affect your life at all. Like,
Legit.
if you don't like it, watch a different video, mate. Like, just makes no sense. Like, half of them don't even know what they're talking about. They've heard this from their uncle's brother who's a mechanic. Like, are we going to have to start being like uni teachers where when you put down like a fact for an assessment, you have to like fact check it and put a link up like why you're right?
Put like the little marks on it.
Where's your references?
Like reference marks on everything. Put a little number 1 and refer to it at the end of the video.
Yeah, literally.